Alright guys, welcome back, 1776 or bust. So I figured this music would be quite fitting for the platform you're going to see in this video, and that of course is for the Marlin 336 in stainless steel. What you're going to see on here is a pretty sweet, innovative idea from Ranger Point Precision that gives you the opportunity to add a handguard that now has compatibility with M-LOK components. This gives this old version of a rifle some new teeth, I guess you could say, in the gun game. Again, this isn't going to be for everybody. Some people are going to be traditionalists and want to keep it the way it is. However, if you have a gun that looks like this and a gun that shoots like this, and you have an opportunity to make it slightly better, I'm of the belief you should. And in this case, this gun definitely has gotten better. All right, guys. So you see on the table the Ranger Point Precision aluminum handguard. So, there's a couple of things I'm going to say right off the bat. First off, this may not be for everybody. This may be something that I guess you could say traditionalists of the lever action world don't want. They want to keep a very traditional looking lever action to keep that kind of that historical feeling to the rifle. And I get it. I totally understand it. It makes a lot of sense. However, if you're one of those people that are always trying to improve your firearm, make it a little bit more user friendly for the things that you want to use it for, to me, this would be a no-brainer. Now, again, it's up to you to decide if it works for you. But honestly, this is something that I've been looking forward to. The Ranger Point Precision originally came out with something like this. Only it was made out of, I believe it was polymer, and it looked okay. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't anything I was super fancy on. But then they released this aluminum one, and it was like, that's what I'm talking about. So again, I got one and put it on, and it was a fairly straight, a fairly easy process, which was kind of shocking. I was a little nervous, but on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being hard and 1 being, well, super easy, I'd say it's about a 1.5. Now, a couple of things about this. First off, the biggest concern I had about this handguard was the fit and finish. Now, one of the things that I worried about was whether or not there's going to be a lot of flexing. I mean, let's be honest, aluminum has a tendency to be a little bit flexible and have a little bit of play in regards to, pulling it, or I shouldn't say pulling, but actually squeezing it together. In this case, that's not what's going to happen here. I mean, first off, it's friggin' solid, guys. I mean, this isn't going anywhere. There's no movement side to side. There's no flexing at all. So overall, the construction of this was actually really good. And that was something that kind of put me at ease because, again, like I said, I was a little concerned that this was not going to fit the way I wanted it to. Now, the installation process is, again, very straightforward, easy process. They send you pretty good directions. You got to just make sure you have all your pieces that you need. So for this one, because it has the rear barrel band, you need the rear barrel band adapter. It'll come with a set screw in there. And then, of course, you have 2 other screws to fit this onto the gun. So you really start from front to back. Again, you're going to remove your sights. So as you can see, you have your sight ramp here, and all you have to do is punch off your front sight, and you're going to find 2 screws, remove those screws, and off comes the sight ramp. The second part of that process is to remove the screw that holds together the actual magazine tube spring in there. So you can see that screw. You just want to unscrew that. You want to hold that cap, because if not, it's under spring tension and it'll pop off or fly off or disappear. So once you've gotten this removed and the spring comes out and the follower follows it, you just remove that, put that to the side. And then you're going to start with your front barrel band. You unscrew that front barrel band, slide it off. And now you basically have what you need to do next. And that's to get rid of your original handguard, which you can see right here. So again, one of the added improvements to the handguard from Ranger Point Precision is just the length of it. So as you guys can see, this is the original length of the black walnut that was put on here. And you can see it stops right about there. So most people's grips are going to be a little bit further back on the rifle. This allows you to move that grip a little bit further. And I actually like that because you're going to get a little bit more control on that rifle. Because you have it back here, you have a 20-inch barrel, you may see a little bit more recoil, but because of this fact that it actually moves this forward, you should have a little bit better control. But again, that's just my opinion. This is the original barrel band that the rifle came with. One of the things you need to do is basically just, and I'll show you really quick, if I can get it back on there. You're going to see that the barrel band is going to sit there and it's going to be exposed. Everything else has been removed. So what you need to do is get this off. The only way to get this off is to remove this. You basically take a screw out, pop it out from the other side, because once it's on screws, it's not going to come out itself. So you just have to take a little punch and punch it out with no effort at all. It comes right out. You want to then kind of just wiggle this off. That comes off and it leaves it exposed like that. Wiggle your handguard. Next thing you know, that comes off and your magazine tube will follow, which allows you now to do what you need to do. The next thing you're going to do is have your barrel band adapter, and I'll kind of show that to you. a little bit more close up. And the reason why I'm going to show this to you is because this was the most difficult portion of the install. Not because it was difficult to slide over the barrel or anything, but the simple fact is you have to maintain center on this. And that's going to be the most important factor involved in this whole installation. If this moves left or right, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to align your magazine tube with your barrel, which will not allow you then to lock your barrel band up in the front. And that's important. So you have to make sure that as you're installing this, you're keeping close attention to detail in regards to how you're actually taking this and holding it in place. If you hold it in place and everything looks like it's straight, one of the things I can tell you that would test that to make sure it's going to work is take the original front barrel band that you see right here and slide it over your barrel and your magazine tube really quick, and then try to see if it'll lock in place. In other words, screw it back in, see if it locks, and if it does, you know you're centered. Once you do that, you can remove your barrel band by holding this, or I should say you can remove your magazine tube by holding this in place. And then it's kind of, you wish you had 4 hands to do this, but you don't. What I would recommend is once you have it in place, leave it as so. Don't touch it, don't move it. If you have a stand or anything, put it on the stand so it's not going to move. Once you have it on, you're going to slide your barrel band through, or excuse me, your magazine tube through the handguard, and then you're going to attach your handguard and magazine tube directly onto this. What you will find is that the actual handguard will fit over this little clamp here, this little barrel band, and it should be right where it needs to be. If it moves slightly, it's okay. It's not going to end your day. What you need to do is just, again, hold it in place and then try to realign it, and then try to drop your barrel band on the front to make sure it actually fits. I mean, it's not a complicated process, guys. I know it sounds like it's complicated, but it's really not, and everything fits really nicely. Overall, I think they did a great job with this thing because of the fact that you have now the M-LOK ability. You can see I put my TLR3 on there, which was kind of good because I was actually using this last night because unfortunately we have a giant bear around our house, which, I don't know if a 30-30 would actually do anything, but it would scare it, I guess, right? So I had this out with me and the dogs, had the light on, worked perfectly. Again, just a solid build. This thing isn't going anywhere. They did a fantastic job. Again, you're going to have the ability to put M-LOK adapters on here and then put whatever it is that you want. You want to put a rail here, you can. I decided to put it on the bottom. I'd probably switch it over to a left or a right side, most likely the right side because I'm a lefty. But at the same time, just the ability to customize this now, to have the ability to add things on it that give it an additional use. You know, initially there was no light on here, there was nothing on here, so I wouldn't necessarily have carried this outside with the dogs. But because now I do have the ability to attach something onto here, such like the TLR3, it just makes it a complete different rifle, and the use of this rifle now has been expanded. So do I support this? 100%. And the reason being is because now you've added more usability to a platform that I love. I love lever actions. And when you get a company like Ranger Point Precision that is doing more and more for lever actions, how could you not want to support them in the process? So I'd love to hear your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is something you would consider, especially if you're a lever action fan? And if not, why? Why wouldn't you do it? Again, I think it just adds to the usability of the rifle overall. And I think it is something that's made of quality. And again, Ranger Point Precision has never let me down, guys. So I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, freedom is never free.